Eric Dane, the actor who became one of television's most unforgettable heartthrobs and later one of its most complex dramatic performers, has died at the age of 53 after a heartbreaking battle with ALS, a disease that slowly stole his strength but never took away his spirit, his passion, or the love fans around the world had for him. For millions, Eric Dane wasn't just a celebrity. He was McSteamy. He was the charming surgeon who walked into Seattle Grace Hospital and instantly changed the energy of an entire show. He was also the deeply troubled, layered father figure in one of HBO's most talked-about dramas. And behind those iconic roles was a man who fought personal demons, professional pressure, and finally a brutal illness with courage that left Hollywood in awe. Born on November 9, 1972 in San Francisco, Eric Dane didn't arrive in Hollywood with instant fame. His early career was built on persistence, guest roles on television shows, small appearances, and years of rejection that never managed to break his determination. Like so many actors before him, he spent the 1990s slowly climbing, learning his craft, and waiting for that one moment that would change everything. That moment arrived in 2006 when he made his now legendary entrance on Grey's Anatomy as Dr. Mark Sloan. From the second he appeared on screen, audiences were hooked. Mark Sloan was confident, flirtatious, complicated, deeply loyal, and emotionally wounded beneath the surface charm. The nickname McSteamy wasn't just a joke, it became a cultural phenomenon. Fans tuned in not just for the medical drama, but for every storyline involving Dane's character. His chemistry with the cast, especially with Patrick Dempsey and the show's central ensemble, made him one of the most beloved additions in the series' history. Almost overnight, Eric Dane became a household name. Magazines put him on their covers, talk shows invited him constantly, fans around the world fell in love with the mix of swagger and vulnerability he brought to the screen. But behind the scenes, fame came with pressure, and Dane later admitted that the sudden spotlight wasn't easy to handle. Still, his career continued to soar. After leaving Grey's Anatomy, Dane took on leading roles in television, most notably commanding the screen in the action drama The Last Ship, proving he wasn't just a romantic lead, he was a powerhouse performer capable of carrying an entire series. Then came a role that shocked audiences in a completely different way. On HBO's Euphoria, Dane portrayed Cal Jacobs, a deeply flawed, emotionally explosive character whose double life and internal struggles became one of the show's most intense storylines. Gone was the charming surgeon. In his place was a man filled with regret, repression, anger, and pain. Critics praised Dane for the raw honesty of his performance. Many called it the best work of his career. And just when it seemed Eric Dane was entering a powerful new chapter of his acting life, tragedy struck. In 2025, Dane publicly revealed that he had been diagnosed with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a progressive neurodegenerative disease that attacks nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord, gradually stripping away a person's ability to move, speak, and eventually breathe. The announcement stunned Hollywood. Fans who had grown up watching him on television struggled to believe that the strong, athletic, vibrant actor was now facing one of the cruelest illnesses known to medicine. In emotional statements and interviews, Dane shared how the disease had already begun affecting his body. He spoke about losing strength in his arms, struggling with coordination, and coming to terms with the reality that ALS had no cure. But even as his health declined, Eric Dane refused to disappear. He continued working when possible, he continued showing up for his family, and most importantly, he used his platform to raise awareness about ALS, encouraging research funding and greater public understanding of what patients endure. Friends described him as incredibly brave. Co-stars said he never complained. Fans admired his honesty. Behind the scenes, Dane leaned heavily on his loved ones, especially his wife, actress Rebecca Gayheart, and their two daughters, Billy and Georgia. Family became his anchor as everyday tasks grew more difficult and the disease progressed faster than anyone hoped. Those close to him later shared that even on his hardest days, Eric maintained his sense of humor. He still joked, he still watched old episodes of his shows, he still asked about friends' lives, he still cared deeply about the world beyond his illness. But ALS is relentless. Over time, Dane's mobility decreased further. Public appearances became rare. When he did speak out, his words were filled with honesty, describing the disease as cruel, terrifying, and devastating, but also urging others not to look away from those suffering. He wanted his story to matter. He wanted his fight to help others. And then, in 2026, Eric Dane passed away at the age of 53, surrounded by family. The news spread across social media like wildfire. Fans flooded comment sections with heartbreak. Celebrities shared tributes within minutes. Former co-stars posted emotional messages about the man they loved, worked with, and admired. Many described him as kind, generous, funny, and fiercely professional. Others spoke about how he helped younger actors feel comfortable on set. Some said he was one of the few stars who never acted like a star. For Grey's Anatomy fans, his death felt like losing a piece of television history. For Euphoria viewers, it felt like losing one of the show's most powerful forces. And for Hollywood, it felt like losing a talent that still had so much more to give. Eric Dane's life wasn't just about fame. It was about reinvention, about resilience, about growth. He openly spoke in the past about struggles with mental health and addiction, battles he fought long before ALS entered his life. Instead of hiding those chapters, he addressed them publicly, hoping others would seek help and understand they weren't alone. That honesty became part of his legacy. He wasn't a perfect Hollywood story. He was a real one, a man who stumbled, rose, succeeded, struggled, and kept going anyway. And when ALS tried to take everything from him, he turned his pain into purpose. He reminded the world that behind every diagnosis is a human being with dreams, memories, family, and love. He showed that strength isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's choosing to live fully even when time becomes uncertain. Today, Eric Dane leaves behind iconic characters, unforgettable performances, a loving family, and millions of fans who will continue watching his work for generations. He leaves behind Mark Sloan walking through hospital hallways with that signature smile. He leaves behind Cal Jacobs delivering some of the most haunting monologues in modern television. And he leaves behind a story of courage that goes far beyond Hollywood. Though his life ended far too soon, his impact will never fade. Eric Dane didn't just entertain the world. He touched it, he changed it, and he inspired it. Rest in peace to a star gone too early, but never forgotten. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.